I never collected masks. I made them. Sometimes on commission, sometimes on impulse. But this one, I didn't make. I woke up on a Sunday, gray outside, lamps didn't turn on, the air felt frozen, heavy, still. I sensed it immediately. Something was wrong in the workshop. There it was, on the table, a mask, bronze-colored with a slight copper sheen. The surface looked like old brass, but it felt like resin. Tiny skulls were embedded neatly into the forehead and temples, smooth, gleaming, like they were grown into the mask. It wasn't mine, but my tools lay beside it, my fingerprints, my mess. Everything said I had made it. But I hadn't. I stared at it for 10 full minutes. Maybe I'd sculpted it in a trance, in my sleep, on autopilot. But no, I would have remembered. It was too precise, too deliberate, too alive. I picked it up. It was warm. Not from sunlight, there was none. Not from heating. Just unnaturally warm, as if it had been waiting. I walked to the mirror, held it up to my face, just to see, just to try. The next moment I was wearing it, didn't notice when I'd put it on. It settled without a click, no straps, no clasps, just there. And then silence from inside, like sound had vanished. I thought my ears were blocked, but it was deeper than that. I tried to take it off, but there was nothing to grab, no buckles, no edge, just smooth surface, like skin, or something that had become part of mine. I spoke, my voice worked, but it sounded distant, slightly wrong. I stepped into the hallway. Cool air touched my arms, but under the mask, heat, almost stifling. I stood in front of the mirror again and noticed sweat on my forehead. I hadn't moved, but I couldn't feel myself breathing. That wasn't right. I called a friend. He arrived hours later. I left the door unlocked, didn't want to greet him, didn't want him to see me move. He walked in and froze. "What the hell? Is that you?" I nodded. He took one step closer, then flinched. "Your eyes, they're not yours." I said nothing. They look like they're behind glass, empty, but deep, like you're not alone in there. He left fast, no tea, no questions, just said he'd call later. He didn't. That night I barely moved. The mask stayed hot, alive, like it had a pulse. At some point I stood up, went to the mirror, stared at myself. I blinked. The reflection didn't blink immediately, just a fraction of a delay, or maybe my mind playing tricks. I closed my eyes and felt something, someone watching from the inside. And then I heard the voice, quiet, inside my head. Not angry, not threatening, just not mine. "That's better," always wanted to be someone else. I opened my eyes. Everything looked the same, but I wasn't sure I was. A week passed, or two. Time got slippery. I still wore the mask, or rather, I couldn't take it off. But I'd stopped trying. At first I felt weight, heat, pressure at the temples. Then, nothing, like it wasn't there. But the mirror showed otherwise. The mask hadn't changed. Bronze, smooth, immaculate. But I was changing. My voice deepened. I spoke less, paused more. Sometimes I used words I didn't know, as if remembering things I'd never lived. I began waking up in strange places. On the floor, by the door. Once, standing before the mirror, eyes open. I installed a camera, motion activated, connected to my laptop. It turned on at night, several times. In the morning, blank files, corrupted video. Sometimes, pure black screen, but the audio caught faint whispers. In one clip, I spoke. My voice, but distorted. Words I didn't recognize. I accept you. You were incomplete. Now you're whole. The face is no longer needed. There is the mask. I left the apartment once. No one looked, not even a glance. People moved past me like I wasn't there, like I didn't exist. It was strange and peaceful. Then came the sounds, tapping on walls, scraping in the vents. Then whispers, barely audible, but I knew they came from inside. We are near. You are nearly ready. I stopped asking questions. One morning I found black dust under my nails, like soot, but it wouldn't wash off. My fingertips turned rough, burned. But I hadn't touched anything. I sat at my desk, stared at my hands, and realized I didn't know whose hands they were. Sometimes I hear my old voice, faint like behind a wall. It begs, please take it off, this isn't you. I don't answer. It fades, grows weaker. Today I turned the camera on again. I sat still for a long time. Then I looked directly at the lens and whispered, now it's mine, and I am hers.